Welcome back, everybody, to the Boise State University Game Pants Arena. I am Greg Old Soul Smith, and with me on the desk, I've got Joe Tackey calling on the action. You guys are watching the Mountain West Conference for Rocket League at Boise State. Joe, how you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go.
That's good. That's good. I'm ready to go as well. I'm really looking forward to it. Anything you're really looking forward to today? Anything in particular you want to see out there?
I don't know. This BSU team feels like they got something new for us every week. I'm really excited to see them play.
It really does.
And honestly, if there's anything that I expect out of them at this point, it's consistency. They're really good at making sure that they play to their advantages and just do a really good job of playing that midfield as best as they possibly can without throwing away anything. Consistency
indeed, especially considering that we're totally undefeated so far. We're going to be kicking off some maps today. We're going to be watching some matches, and hopefully they can keep up that stat. And we'll be playing against some other decent teams as well, so we won't be an absolute gimme. But if we can keep up that undefeated, we'll be fighting for a spot to take a slice of the name Mountain West. What bragging rights that is. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, definitely have to agree there. It's a title that we've been gunning for a while now. I know we claimed it at least once in 2018.
2018, yeah.
The competition in college esports has gone up exponentially since then, and I know these BSU boys are definitely have that championship in their eyes lines, especially as they're undefeated now. Definitely something they're looking forward to.
Definitely. Well, they've been doing fantastic. I think today we've got a game against Hawaii as well as SJSU, that's San Jose State University. Look at those lineups. Look at this Unreal Racing League lineup. There is a beautiful white car for Hawaii and Boise State's orange to take it out if possible.
Yeah, super cool to see this kind of graphic for any esport at all, but especially since this is the kind of graphic we see on the professional stage if you watch a lot of RLCS. So it's really cool to see BSU and this program and all of college esports kind of progressively get better and better and come closer to industry standard on literally everything.
Yeah, definitely industry standard. Taking steps or strides towards it, creating the space that we can. Well, tips for you guys out there playing Rocket League. Doc's Keys got you covered to make sure everything goes as planned. Doc's Keys, the game in Rocket League, is to set the play style, understand them rotations, play to follow up, and have sweaty comms. These keys are brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play through favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming is the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Now, this is a typical best of 5. We've got a couple matches all queued up for you. I'm ready to get into it whenever you are. Are you looking for anything specific on these?
Oh, nothing in particular. I guess I just kind of want to see what Hawaii has in store for us and how Boise State is feeling today.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're well aware of how well they're doing so far in this tournament, and I think they should come into it with some confidence, but not too much confidence. As already pointed out earlier, confidence can be the Achilles heel of a team at any given point in time, whether it's too much or a lack thereof.
It can, definitely. Well, I am ready to see that confidence. Look like they have just queued in, and there are players, Gil and Cosmo Buster and Instinct, all tried and true, ready to take it off. It goes blue on the 50-50, and the beautiful Hawaii green ball goes soaring to their own side. Oh, it was almost a quick one there, but Cosmo was a little deep. Gil follows it up and takes the first one. 9 seconds on the clock. We talked about consistency earlier today. I would love to see this run back again and again because they're off to a solid start.
Yeah, and Sharketeer just not quite able to get in the way there. A great setup from Instinct and a missed opportunity a little bit from Cosmo, but Gil is always there to clean it up. Great plays from BSU. And definitely a hallmark of this BSU team is using their mechanical skill to their advantage. Instinct, Gil, and Cosmo are all really good at going for these, not too fancy, but fancy enough solo plays in the midfield to try to open up or bait out defenders and provide opportunities for their teammates to find easy strikes for the back of the net.
Ooh, Cosmo going for one strike at the back of the net himself. Gil passing it up to Instinct with a smooth sail in, and that defense was almost ready. A little bit slow there. If we see it in the replay, they were positioned just barely, turning around, moving towards it, and just thought it might go deeper, a little bit too far back, but somewhat can't prevent Boise State's second goal at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Off to a solid start. Do you think that, speaking again about consistency, we're going to see a big change moving in? Do you think this is the pace that we might be set for a little bit?
I definitely have to agree there. On that passing play, it was a really great show from BSU, but Hawaii has to find a way to get in the middle of those passing plays. If you give them the space to do anything with it, that is honestly going to be the end of the volley, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's got to be a consistent theme for counterplaying BSU at this point, is a lot of their offense relies heavily on space. They use a lot of solo plays, they use a lot of passing plays, they love those passing plays for sure. But all of those can be cut down by fast teams that are playing to cut down those advantages super, super early. And if you don't do that, BSU is going to run all over you, just like right here. You see two defenders go up to save it, last-ditch effort, but where was the defender when Gil got the pass to begin with? Great shot from Instinct. Great setup by the boys. So now Hawaii down 3 goals here. They have a little bit of work to do, to say the least. They got their work cut out for them.
They do, yeah.
But they're definitely not out of it yet. It's a fool's game at any given point in time to keep all the way out in Rocket League unless it's super duper bad.
Especially considering point 1 on a best of 5. They might have thrown this away at goal 2 and just thought, all right, let's practice our flip resets and try to figure out how they play under different circumstances. You might be testing the length of someone's punch in this first fist bump round. Sharketeer taking one real gentle in the gold there, putting one on Boise State a 3-1, and they're just like that. You sure can't count anyone out. Instinct goes up for a little bump off the backboard, but it's not there, and Cosmo's a little too deep in.
Instinct barely doesn't get the read, and the great punish from Sharketeer to find the back of the net there. Clearly, the signs of life from Hawaii. This is definitely not a blowout so far, as the offense from Boise State has been left mostly unchallenged, but it doesn't mean Hawaii is anywhere near out, and definitely Sharketeer is here to show us that we're not giving up the series yet.
No, definitely not. I've seen the greatest comebacks of my life all in esports. Cosmo with a quick chip on over, trying to take some space, but nobody follows up, so it goes into Somewhat's hands to send it into the corner. Somewhat then making a shot on goal out of it, and a little double commit actually pays off and sends it out. Gil able to roll it over and almost sends it in before Sharketeer denies it. Instinct with another shot. Sharketeer coming back for it again, wins a 50-50 and chips it straight up, but Cosmo's in a better position to let Gil take it, send it back down the field for Sadaki. Just following that ball, a lot of the ping pong mechanics just kind of chipping, clearing back and forth. A shot on goal occasionally, but we haven't really set up nice solid rotations yet anywhere.
Yeah, Hawaii seems to finally be finding their stride a little bit on the offensive end, fighting for the back of the net here in the blue half, but definitely not finding enough pressure yet to really force BSU to feel in too precarious a position. Right off the bat, again, the passing plays that I've already talked about. Gil gets the flick up here. No challenge from Hawaii on the flick. No challenge on the second tap, and Cosmo is just there. Gil gave up the ball, gave away possession twice there. 2 different opportunities for Hawaii to come in and cut down the play, and no one was home.
Yeah, watching the ball is not difficult. Trying to watch all your teammates and the ball to, Somewhat almost with a quick one right off the 50 in. Gil having to fight again. They've got a decent rotation. It's a little bit slanted, not much deep. They are able to flatten it out when Cosmo Buster threatens a flip to the other side. Gil follows it up in Instinct with a little mid. Doesn't get him a whole lot. They're able to back it up. Instinct with a quick demo, clearing a lot of space. Sharketeer takes it from right over him, though. Sends it to Sadaki, who's able to mark it further, but Gil steals it, sends it way down. Not quite a shot on goal, but a good setup for Cosmo, who's then promptly demoed in midair. And it's those setups that really make it happen. If that demo didn't come through, like you were saying earlier, it's pretty easy to watch the ball, but watching all the other players and what the opponents are planning on moving is a lot more difficult.
Definitely have to agree there. And again, it's just no one is quite there and in the way.
Yep.
It's not even whiffs from Hawaii. They're making solid contact. It's just they're not where they need to be. They're not at the right place at the right time. And I know that sounds a little bit like it would be a coincidence, but in Rocket League, playing Rocket League at its best is having the knowledge to be in the right place at the right time over and over again.
Yeah, being in the right place at the right time might sound like coincidence, but the right place is positioning and the right time is timing. And that's a clean one by Instinct.
What a fantastic shot.
Yeah.
I can't stress how hard the shot is to take. Great pass from Cosmo. Instinct takes basically what is a negative angle and shoots it into the free net. I can't even blame Hawaii for having an open net there. I wouldn't expect Instinct to ever make that kind of shot, but being well acquainted with the BSU team like we are, I can't say that I am that surprised either by the infamous power prod.
No, beautifully played. Another 250-50 shakedown, and it ends up on the half. Gil's going to take control of that, but two people are lined up to arm it from him, so he doesn't get much out of it. It actually ends up being sent back over and carried by Sadaki. Cosmo's ready for it, though. Chips it up to Gil, who's able to bounce it further into the corner, and only 30 seconds remaining on this. Hawaii's looking down the end of a long journey to try to win this point here. They're probably just looking for information, a couple of security, just ego goals here.
Yeah, maybe one last goal to help swing their positive momentum for the next game, but Cosmo Buster is here to make them watch every single corner, including behind themselves, make them second guess every decision that they could, finding 2 demos in a short time. And
crazy,
as the clock runs out, Boise State will run away with this on a 6-1 lead, which is a pretty substantial lead, I do say.
It definitely is, but it's not like they didn't. It's not like they got 0 goals off, where the difference between the players is astronomical. Hawaii is definitely learning. They're definitely getting better, and they're definitely in the position to take some space and make some goals.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree there. And again, we get a great look at our new overlay that includes both colors of both teams and using the Jaeger car from the game. But I have to kind of agree with you. Hawaii is definitely not out, obviously. But I think what they have to take away most importantly from this is how much freedom they were giving BSU.
Yeah.
If you really want to get inside BSU's head and you really want to make it so they aren't getting all these free, amazing shots and plays, you have to be faster to challenge them at the midfield. You can't let them get away with these passing plays. These boys, I know for a fact, practice passing and their mechanics a lot, among other things, but these 2 things a lot. And so if you let them use those things that they're best at, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. And those passes are huge. You just got to be able to watch the entire field, be posting up on all the thirds, front and back, control that space, know your zone, know how big your zone is. So we don't end up with so many small double commits where Boise State's able to play around it.
Yeah, definitely agree. Cosmo going for a great pass already. Oh, Gil might have had the open net. Isn't quite able to find it, though. Now BSU has to rotate onto their defensive end, and a good start from Charcuteer, being able to keep that pressure, almost finds the back of the net himself. So I'm really excited to see if Hawaii is able to put a little bit more pressure on this time, maybe make them fight a little bit more for their goals, but so far we haven't seen enough of BSU offense in this particular game to decide whether or not Hawaii has made the proper adjustments, or if Instinct, Cosmo, and Gil are kind of going to be able to run all over offense again. Yeah, I have to wonder a little bit, too, about the comms on both teams. And one of Doc's keys to the games being sweaty comms that we talked about earlier. So important to keep the momentum for Boise State, to keep them going in this positive direction that they had earlier. But it's also super important for Hawaii to have as an option, or not even an option, just a generally good mechanic to keep in the way, to help them preserve whatever positive momentum they have and push it out even further. Because momentum is a huge part of Rocket League.
Yeah.
And I think Doc's keys of the games really highlight that for this particular series so far.
Well, the momentum has definitely changed, considering that first goal on point 1 was made within 10 seconds, and now our first goal comes after 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, and it looks like, I think it's Doc, he just is barely not able to make contact with his pass from Instinct, isn't able to get in the way, and Gil finds the open net. I originally, when I was watching it from Cosmo's point of view, I was like, oh, Cosmo's the defender, right?
Yep.
I got confused, thinking that because he just rotated in the back post for them. But looking at it now, I realized that no one was even back post there. There was no one in the way.
Oh, Sadaki's got to go for 2 saves in a row, and though he's able to make him, Instinct wraps back around in that third, is just not able to be dealt with.
A great pass from Cosmo, to say the least. I don't know if he was... Actually, I can't tell if he's trying to shoot or not. Regardless, it was a lot of pressure because it forced them to get in the way and make a kind of an unfortunate touch that Instinct punished in a very, very good fashion.
Yeah, and I feel like Sadaki didn't quite have the support there, and there wasn't a dynamic rotation. They were set up, but Sadaki had to defend and then backflip for another defend, and then had to try to go in for a third one, and the angle kept changing, and he couldn't keep up with all that. So Instinct ended up taking that third goal.
Yeah, and while he was one of the only defenders trying to make plays happen, you have to ask what his teammates were doing. Okay, well, his teammates, were they trying to get demos? Were they trying to interrupt the pass? And no, they weren't even doing that. So I can't even, I'd have to look at that again to be able to tell what actually happened. Did they get bumped? Did they not have boost? Were they just slow? But yeah, something has to change in the rhythm. A slight overpass from Gil there, launching it all the way over Cosmo, but a good recovery from BSU as they're able to keep it in their possession. Even the lost 50 from Gil is responded to well by Instinct, who's already there and ready, backing up his teammate.
Yeah, ball control has been huge. They'll even take back passes over letting Hawaii send it backwards.
Anything that they can predict is obviously going to be better for them, so they're doing a really good job of forcing Hawaii to give them the ball in a way that makes it easy for them to know how they can develop a plan.
A beautiful split right there as one goes to demo and the other one takes a smooth goal. Instinct reads the setup excellently and just sets it up for Gil when Sadaki is not ready to take that post. That was just a good teamwork, flawless execution, sweaty comms, positioning, timing, everything.
Yeah, and I gotta totally agree. Those Docs keys in the game are popping off in this particular series for Boise State. And I gotta ask then, we know a lot about Doc's keys to the game. And I get asked a lot what my keys to the games are.
Yes.
What is one of your keys to the game?
My goodness, I've got to have really similar keys to the game. I think Doc lines it out pretty well, but I would definitely say play for passes, demo into the goal, control the field. That includes mid, right? Don't get all three players caught up in the corner. It kind of goes hand in hand with, you know, resist the urge to double commit. And, yeah, just keep those comms lit always.
Totally agree there. And that one of those last points you made about not letting all your teammates get caught up in the corner, that happened in that exact play for Hawaii. You notice they double committed for the ball. Both of them were beaten by Cosmo anyway, so that's two defenders out of the net.
Yep.
And the last one is nowhere near able to make the last defending play, and Cosmo finding the back to them again. Look at this. There are two defenders in the air again, both of them beat by Cosmo. There's Sharkateer, now Sadaki, and someone. Both in the air, none of them in the air, none of them making any touch on that ball.
Yeah.
A panicked attempt to save the ball that just not quite in the way, and I have to hand it to Cosmo. He's playing really fast, he's getting in the way, all three of them are. They're doing a great job of playing to their speed advantage and their passing advantage, but something has to change for Hawaii because while this is a best of 5 and they have one more go at it at least, it's like this is not going to work.
Definitely. Now, what do you think about having players in a team that are more set to be the defender and the offense versus having them all be in a loose rotation where they take whatever's closest? Because we can see Sadaki is acting a lot more as the defender and Sharkateer is acting much more as the offense. Whereas Boise State has, you know, they have more the shot takers and, you know, more aggressive defenders, but it's a lot more loose and there's a lot more cooperation in the play styles.
Well, I have a couple comments on that. The first one being is that there is definitely some kind of viability to the idea of having players that are more defensively minded. But the issue is that Rocket League is becoming such a diverse game and with such flexible and adaptable players who are good at mechanics and defense at the same time that you really can't afford to have players that are basically only good at one or two things on one half of the field. And so with all these new players coming out, it's really evolved into a meta of everyone needs to be capable of generally doing everything, otherwise you're kind of going to be in trouble. And at one point in time in the professional league, there were a couple teams that were known for having specifically defensively minded players. But the thing is now is that that doesn't work anymore. Everyone is so good at the game that you kind of have to be adaptable. Otherwise you become predictable. If you have one defender, then why don't you just demo him all game? And honestly, I'm going to argue for Hawaii that it's not even that they have a sole defender. It's specifically that there's just not proper rotation combined with the fact that they're not in the way.
Yeah.
So there's not, instead of one person always feeling like he's the last man, it's just that all of his teammates committed to things that were bad to begin with. So there was no rotation because they never had time to rotate to begin with.
Coming in on the final count here, is Boise State going to go for the Ego 7? Not quite, a little too deep in their own turf, but Boise State does take that last point. Look at this beautiful graphic. Isn't it just so shiny?
It is so shiny.
We've got a couple of them all packed up for you, but you only see this one for a little bit because Hawaii gets their own beautiful white car to showcase. You heard him. Keep those rotations dynamic. Keep it loose, keep it light, keep people spinning. You've got to have all 3 posts manned by all 3 people. And I feel like it's that space-taking problem that is really being the problem, considering that we can hit these ridiculous angles. And we saw, I believe it was Instinct, like you said, hit that near negative angle, just right off, just camera absolutely flip on that hit.
Yep, textbook Instinct.
And not being able to control the entire field at once means that it's only more difficult for Boise State to score, not impossible. And it should be absolutely gate-kept.
Exactly. And correct me if I'm wrong, that last game was also a 6-1 lead for BSU.
It was. It was.
So definitely consistency there. So the goal differential here is 12-2, being
totally,
not Hawaii's favor, which has got to feel a little bit like a harsh burn.
Yeah. You've got to start making changes now. Now is the only chance, as we are looking at Boise State's 2-point lead overall. Oh, good shot there by Instinct. Quickly put out.
Another double commit right there from Charketeer and Somewhat. It's never the same 2 people, but it's always 2 of them that manage to panic, go for these weird saves or that no one has any business going for anyway. And luckily in that situation, they were able to beat BSU, but you got to wonder if even a 50-50 happened there, they were in deep trouble putting their last defender in a 1v2 or 1v3 even situation. It's so costly to have all these double commits, especially when nothing immediately good happens out of them. And right there, I think that's the same thing. Weird angle.
Yeah, it was just really good positioning by Instinct here. Gil being able to get the absolute down pass instead of trying to waterfall it in. Just good communication, good positioning. I know Boise State reps this again and again. And like you're saying, the hours they put into practicing these passes, they might not be talking at all. It is so fluid.
I totally agree with that. And I think Gil is one of those players that's not necessarily the highlight reel player all the time, but he shocks me every game with just how good he is at playing the game selflessly. He's involved, I've said this part more than once, he's involved in a ton of goals for BSU. He has some part to play, whether it's the guy who made the first pass, or the guy who made the flick, or the guy who got the demo. Gil is really, really good at creating opportunities for his team through either weird, unpredictable passes or just some amazing pressure generated through this one player, and I think Gil is a standout player for that reason.
One thing I'm seeing here is proactivity as well. Even though Instinct could take the ball in a nice direction, he knows that Gil is in a better position and walks away from it. And we see that pretty often, actually. Boise State will cooperate to the effect of, a little bit too close there, but they'll cooperate to the effect of like being so proactive that it feels like they're reading a move ahead.
I totally have to agree there, and I think that's a big part of the coaching they get and the kind of importance impressed upon them on communication. You don't see barely any double commits from BSU, and of course I might cast or curse that now, but you see barely any double commits from BSU because they are so good at making sure they're spread out and they're fulfilling a role and they understand, okay, I don't need to go for this again. I can play selflessly and let Gil, Instinct, or Cosmo make the play, and he's already ready behind me. And right there, I have to beat this horn again. We see 2 players playing the front post, and they're not doing anything while they're there. If they approach from that position, they lose. And if they stay back, they lose because they're just too slow to get to the play.
At least they're not trying to make middle post a position.
No, middle post is never a position. That's got to be rule 3 or 4 of Rocket League at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely one of Tacky's keys to the game. Well, Cosmo brings us up to, I believe, a 4-0 for Boise State v. Hawaii here. Match point in the mouth of it. Hawaii is going to have about a miracle and a half to really dig out of this pit.
A fantastic pass from Gil. You saw he put it in that perfect sweet spot where Cosmo didn't need to wait for it to hit the ground, and he had just enough run-up that Cosmo could conserve his momentum while he went for the ball. Instinct almost lands a flip reset. That would have been quite the highlight reel.
Somewhat takes it in the corner. Sadaki tries to keep it there. With some help from Charketeer, they might actually do it, but Cosmo's looking to dig it out. It goes right over the head of Somewhat. Pass to Gil. Gil gets demoed there, so it falls on Instinct to pull it out from Charketeer, and it's a whiff. sent himself into the corner, so somewhat's able to take it back over, but they're ready on the reset, and Gil actually pries it from his hands with a great shot on goal, though it goes a bit high, hits that rail, and it's back into Hawaii's hands, and I feel like I shouldn't be seeing all 3 people on camera like that. That was a little bit close. They're able to reset, though. Gil takes it in the corner and sends it down. A nice steal from Instinct. Doesn't send it anywhere interesting, though, so Sadaki's able to bump it over, and they're already ready on the defense. Cosmo able to pry it out, getting it over some people's heads, but not quite somewhat's head. So Sadaki's able to tap it back in. He's not in a great position to accept Sadaki's pass, though, so Gil's able to walk it down slow, get onto the grass, flip it over Charcuteer. Somewhat responds, taking it back. Instinct trying to keep it on this side of the field, but again, it's just not quite the pass. It would have taken a really good flick from Gil to make a shot on goal, so it stays in the air. Instinct looking to just burn the time now. A minute left. Charcuteer wants it back, able to take it almost to their side before Gil comes flying in. A lot of midfield play here, not a lot of shot on goal. Cosmo looking to change that with a great shot to Instinct. Instinct's able to pump it in.
Nice bar down shot from Instinct. Great teamwork from BSU. Cosmo, instead of just hitting it off the wall, like a lot of kind of the monkey brain of Rocket League would do, just bang it off the closest nearest object, he looks to get that pass mid, makes it just as unpredictable as it normally would be. And Instinct is able to find the easy back to the net.
I do like that Hawaii, though, had someone going to the ball where it was going to be and not where it was. And they had someone back post flying for that interception. But the aim was just too good, and they made it in that negative space. So Hawaii, props to you for sure for fighting hard in the face of Torment here at 4-0.
Less than 30 seconds left, and at this point, Hawaii has to already be thinking out getting this series out of their head.
Yes.
Plenty of Rocket League still to play, even if it's not necessarily in this tournament. And you can't let this stuff get to you. The best thing you can do is take replays like this and use them to advance your knowledge and get maybe to the next level. Ooh, great shot from Instinct. Great setup from Cosmo Buster. Instinct now with the hat trick this game.
Ooh.
Feel like that's a pretty normal thing for Instinct as well. But
Instinct pushing his activity queue right off the page there.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we can get kind of one of those stat boards for after this game, because I really want to see what the side control looked like.
Oh, yeah.
It honestly felt like Hawaii maybe only had 15% of side control the entire series. Maybe less. Like, it felt like 90% of that game almost was played in their defensive half, and that must have just been suffocating.
No, it felt like Boise State was achievement hunting, how hard they were trying to pry that ball back out. And we're, okay with it playing in the mid just for a while, just holding on to it and sending it back over, pushing it in. A lot of really good cooperation. They were just playing monkey ball with them.
Yep,
but
totally
excellent
agree.
plays there. We are ready to move into the next one. I know that we talked a lot about what we saw that didn't work very well. Did you see anything that Boise State you would change?
Honestly, it's hard to tell. It didn't feel like they had enough pressure on them on defense to really point out any specific mistakes. It kind of felt like they had free reign most of the time. And it's not to say that they weren't making mistakes. It's just harder to tell when those mistakes aren't necessarily being punished all the time.
All right. Well, that is a good outlook for sure. I think we'll all take a minute to think about that, let that sink in. We're going to take a quick break. You guys drink a lot of water, and we'll see you back for the next game in this Mountain West bracket.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
All right, welcome back to Boise State University's very own Game Pants Esports Arena downtown. You guys can come check it out. I don't know if you knew that, but you can walk right in, sit in the seats, enjoy the stage, check it all out, tap on her shoulder, ring the cowbell. It's a good time and it's a good space. Today, the space will be covering San Jose State University playing against Boise State University in Rocket League for the Mountain West, or at least to vie for a spot for the Mountain West. We've got quite a bit of Rocket League ahead of us and quite a bit ahead of us today. Are you looking forward to this match?
Oh, of course.
Last time we went against San Jose, we won 3-1, and we are currently undefeated otherwise. So I'm looking forward to this. They definitely got a little bit on us last time. I would love to see them make a good effort, a good push to try to make some changes in their roster, or in their play.
Or the roster, whatever they
need. Whatever they need.
Yeah, SJU has a reputation for being to my understanding, a pretty aggressive and powerhouse team. Definitely not a team to ever feel like you're too ahead on. We did win 3-1 with them last time, but those games were fought well over, to my understanding. And I feel like if there was any time that they could take it from us, today would be the day. But honestly, with the way BSU looked against Hawaii, it's going to be a scary matchup. And I've said this before, I'm hoping for a Game 5.
Yeah.
Game 5s are fun.
Yeah, I would love to see it go a little bit longer, and I'm ready to see it when you are. But I know we've seen Docs to the Keys again and again, and the last time you talked about, having our keys to the game. What are you looking for here that you want to see Boise State do, that you love seeing them do, that you want to see them do differently, that you don't think they quite catch, and that you want to see from SJU?
Honestly, I mean, what does Doc not cover?
Yeah,
but
it's
to be
a good
completely honest,
umbrella.
one of my keys to the game, specifically for this BSU team, is demos, because I feel like whenever they're playing around their demos, they're finding a lot of open nets. And it might not necessarily be a Hawaiian thing, and it is a little bit of a, for sure, just how demos work thing. But I feel like they do a really good job of mixing demos into their rotations without committing too much to the play. So I'd like to see a lot more demos out of them, make the defense feel uncomfortable, make them feel like they have to be watching behind them constantly. And maybe by doing that, you'll slow them down just enough that you can pass freely.
All right. Yeah. Well said. Here are Doc's keys to the game, just in case you didn't get the reference. Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League are to set the play style, to understand them rotations, to play, to follow up, and have sweaty comms. Always be talking. Always be talking. This is brought to you by Drop In Gaming. And, man, yeah, that set play style. We just can't talk about that enough. Drop In Gaming is a premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play through your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Setting the play style. I feel like we just didn't talk about that one enough. Being the owner of the ball is what we really touched on this last map against Hawaii, and really owning the field we talked a lot about, but setting the play speed and the positioning and making the shot call, being the IGL not just for you but for the game.
Yeah, because I killed their bat, so they didn't have one.
Like that pretty UI that awesome looking gold Jaeger for SJSU. Kind of, I gotta be honest, I like the blue and orange, but I'm a little bit jealous. Very nice look.
Here we are, Boise State versus SJU. That'll be fixed in a minute. Cosmo Buster, Gil, and Instinct fighting again. We're playing here against San Jose State University. So far, pretty steady.
It'll be the correct name in a minute. The name will correct itself in a minute.
And don't let our UI confuse you. We are playing against, yeah, there we go. We are playing against San Jose State, and it is still an 0-0 scoreline for the series and a 0-0 scoreline for the actual game. And, yeah, like you said, it's a slow start so far. Both teams might be feeling each other out, but also the defense is definitely a little bit more prevalent this game around. San Jose State boasts some really powerhouse players. Valtex, I know, is a well-respected player. Johnny is fairly well-known, too. And Toaster Doggo, I hear a lot about Toaster Doggo. Toaster Doggo is a very, very good player as well. Overall, the San Jose State team, just like our team, is packed full of talent. And there's already a demo from Cosmo Buster. Eating my words a little bit more, but...
And I mean, look at that. Toaster Doggo already has a shot on goal and a save. That activity feed just does a really good job of showing you what exactly is going on as far as ball control and the positions that players are taking. We can see Cosmo Buster and a little bit of Gil and Instinct have been making these plays as well. So we're off to a full minute and 30 right at the beginning, but not a lot of action other than just kind of passing it back, trying to chip it over each other. We see that with really aggressive teams that have solid defense. Ooh, our first really close goal there, bouncing on all four rails almost. Cosmo looking to send it back into the fray, but there's a lot of people posted up on the defense, so it's Johnny's able to send it right back on over, but it goes straight into another really solid defense. Feels like they're pushing the line back and forth. We don't see a lot of the blue and orange mixing here. They're kind of playing racquetball here, keeping it nice and smooth. Finally, a 50-50 with some crossover, letting It's Johnny get deep in there to almost assist a shot on goal by Toaster Doggo, which goes a little bit wide. Valtex looking to keep it down, maybe position up for a nice setup, but it's chipped right over him, as well as Toaster Doggo. Gianni does come back in to take it, but Gil with a good shot on goal absolutely defeats that.
Great shot by Gil, and an even better pass from here from Instinct.
Yeah.
Finding that 90-degree angle to his teammate. Any angle, these BSU boys can find each other. And I think it's super impressive to see them line up when everything starts to click.
Valtex was just a little bit early on that jump. If they'd slowed it down, they would have taken it. A great 50-50 that goes in the way of Cosmo Buster, but just barely goes wide. If it had been a little bit more narrow, could have taken that. Instinct ready to back it up, maybe with a good setup. Hips it off that wall pretty well, and it was a good lineup, but it was a little slow, so It's Johnny is able to dig right in there and take it out. Cosmo Buster running back is able to get it up to Gil, who can send it out of the corner here with a nice little play off the side, running it right down that third into the mouth of Valtex, who's able to chip it right up to the goal, and a wide open goal. Look at that. Beautifully done. It's Johnny taking a distance one, bringing us to a 1-1. And you talked about this tight game. It feels like even those 50-50 battles right on the midfield are critical and intense.
Yeah, and San Jose State is saying they're no laughing matter. Definitely already putting the pressure on Boise State.
Pressure indeed. There's a quick demo onto Boise State. Boise State's got to fight back for some demos soon. Two-man defense works out, and they keep it on that side while we have another spawn in. They're able to send it shallow into the orange side. Gil fighting to get it deeper, but Valtex doesn't want it there. A beautiful chip onto a wide open goal gives Valtex another distant shot for SJSU.
Yeah, and Gil just not quite able to find Instinct. No one back. I think it was partially a result of the demo, and no one is able to save that ball as it low floats into the game, or into the net.
Yeah, we talked about Boise State looking to catch more demos here. It looks like San Jose State University's been doing a good job not only getting the demos, but getting value off of each one. I think on both of the demos we've seen from them, one from Valtex and one from It's Johnny, they were absolutely capitalized on.
Oh,
a good shot by Cosmo.
Cosmo, yeah, we're in agreement on that one.
Yep.
great shot from Cosmo. Almost finds the corner of the net, but a good save from San Jose. They were ready. Good defense is always ready.
A nice steal, and it was almost a solid setup for Gil, but a proactive San Jose pries it from his hands. Instinct looking to pry it out of the corner here. A good setup to Gil. Taking it nice and wide. Instinct with a demo lets Cosmo take one into the goal. And man, if Gil was a little bit further back, or if we had someone ready to follow up on that, that could have been a goal. Toaster Doggo, speaking of follow up and positioning, goes wide so It's Johnny can send it to him, but It's Johnny doesn't need the help. He goes in for it himself, but goes right across instead of in, so he doesn't quite get the goal. Instinct able to steal it from him. Sends it back over to the other side where there's not a lot of setup. Takes a second. Oh, Gil's so close to making that goal, but just a bit far out. So it ends up going back to all 6 players. They'll fight over it for a bit. Valtech sends it into the corner again. Gil, before it gets there, chips it out, goes high. Stand right on the line of the third. Toaster Doggo with a nice shot towards the goal, but quite a bit high. It's Johnny follows up, and in the last 6 seconds takes another goal, and that's pretty critical.
Just a barely whiff from Cosmo. Just
yeah,
for It's Johnny to take a shot anywhere he wants. It was back in the net, and San Jose State is back for revenge. Clearly,
they definitely are. San Jose, that goal was so critical because right in the end there, it prevents any buzzer beater from making the overtime happen. That was just a beautiful security goal by them. A great push, very defensive teams. It feels like every time they lob it over, they're fighting against 2 people already set up, and it was only when it was very fast and they could get the ball there from a distance on unready team or unready players that they had any chance of a goal either side. Excellent defense, I think, from both sides.
Totally have to agree. It felt like the defense was pretty good. Felt like, well, obviously the BSU defense was a little bit on the lower end by comparison to San Jose, but I feel like both teams came out swinging in pretty normal fashion, nothing too extraordinary from both sides. And I think the takeaway that I gave to Hawaii kind of translated a little bit here in the form of San Jose. San Jose is doing a good job of cutting off the passes before they can really do a lot with them, and I think that's a really big deal for taking on this BSU team who relies heavily on their great passes, their pinpoint kind of play with each other. But I definitely don't think it's something that BSU can't bounce back from. It's a very close game still. The last part of the game got away from them a little bit, but at that point it's kind of late anyway. So I definitely am excited to see what adjustments are made. I'm excited to see, maybe that Game 5 we'll get, but who knows, really.
Yeah, I would hope to see a good Game 5, and it looks like we're off to a good start, at least considering how hard Boise State was pushing against that point there. And, man, such a low-scoring game. I mean, sum of points, we had 7 in our Hawaii games and only 4 in that last one, so it's definitely gotten a lot tighter. Gil having to fight the whole fray for the ball, ends up getting stolen from him. It goes deep into the Boise State side. But he's back to take it. Stolen from him again. It's Johnny with a nice setup. Goes a bit high, tries to waterfall back down, but it's not quite there. Cosmo, a little scary. Goes in for the protected. Gil's the one to take it out. Cosmo reads the ball and is able to send it over to Instinct with a nice shot. Not quite to goal, and see, if Toaster was not in the right position, Gil was ready to just drop that right in on the rebound. So it's all about stealing those passes, even if it's a self-pass.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of the pressure has been on Boise State so far, but they've done a good job of handling that pressure. Not too many scary moments, 1 or 2, to say the least, but definitely so far both teams have had their fair share of oh no moments.
Definitely. Ooh, Instinct goes at it again with a nice send, but people are ready. It's Johnny absolutely elbowing it from several people. Cosmo Buster loses a 50 against Toaster here, so it goes far, but Instinct's ready. Valtech actually takes it to a near empty goal, and Gil on his way does not arrive on time, and Valtech takes the first goal for point 2 of this best of 5.
And not a great touch from Instinct, giving up possession, kind of just throwing it at the orange defender, and so kind of a freebie for San Jose at that point. But definitely BSU is not out of it yet, but they do have a hill to climb now versus being on even ground.
Definitely. It's Johnny and Toaster Dog taking it out from the hands of Boise State. I feel like the ball control has been a lot closer. Oh, It's Johnny almost rolls it all along that fourth wall and in, but it's just barely saved at the end there by, I believe, Instinct. Toaster Doggo looking for some redemption. Gets some verticality to send Valtech to it, but Gil on the defense absolutely prepared. Oh, Valtech's with another good shot, but it doesn't quite go all the way in. We have 2 people on the defense ready for it. Valtech, to prove himself, steals it from Cosmo, but that bump is all it takes, and it's still on their side. It's Johnny doesn't want it there. Sends it over. It does break the half, but again, it goes corner. Gil and Cosmo are ready to tag team it on out of there. One hit, and San Jose takes it back. A nice shot on goal, but Instinct carries it back over. Toaster Doggo with a good read, but is a little shallow, so It's Johnny is actually the one to take it from him. Cosmo Buster and Gil working together to pry it back out, but Valtech's in position to prevent it from getting far. It's Johnny going back up on the defense just in case, while Toaster Doggo goes far. Gets ready from that pass from It's Johnny. Doesn't go quite as wide as he'd hoped, so it's a reset, and they all go flying over to protect that goal. Valtech gets there in time to take it out, so Boise State retains the ball and pushes a goal without a chance here. Instinct stolen again. It goes far corner. Cosmo's already posted and ready for it. It's Johnny gets it after a quick tap, and that's enough time for Gil to set up, recept it. They send it back over to the corner, and Gil, a nice setup, and it's just a lot of steals, a lot of back and forth, and we're not seeing very many very close shots. When you're playing this far ahead and you're thinking this many moves ahead, both teams, they never really get all the way up to a chance to make the goal.
Yeah, and it feels like this game, the touches just aren't quite there for BSU. It feels like when they finally do get a touch on the ball, it's kind of just a freebie thrown against a wall with no one to follow up a lot of the time. And I know that was what the last goal was, scored on Boise State as well from San Jose, was a poor touch from Instinct off the wall, but kind of goes for all 3 now, where it just feels like the intent is not quite there. When they're stuck on the back foot and their passing plays just aren't quite able to make it, it feels like what's going on is they're just not able to convert and find each other as nearly as often as they usually do.
Yeah, I hear that. Ooh. 2, just looking to guide it right in. Misses the corner, and Gil's only lucky it did because he was not quite there to the fight. Instinct, on the other hand, is playing proactive and ready to get in there. Only 30 seconds for Boise State to make a point and take us to a golden goal chance to bring it to a tie in this best of 5. But San Jose is looking good so far with the upper hand. They're just looking to prevent it from making in. A security goal is second to win con here.
Definitely true. BSU is starting to feel the pressure for sure, because a victory from here, an unanswered victory from here, puts San Jose at match point for this best of 5 series. And one of the first times that they felt really threatened to lose their, well, first time they've felt really threatened to lose their undefeated season so far.
Threatened indeed. They had to go from undefeated to be at match point with 0 in. We've only had a few goals from Boise State so far. It's looking a little bit scary. What would you tell them to change?
I mean, I say this a lot, but maybe step up, take a step out of your seat, shake those legs, get some water, deep breath, just come back and play your game, because it feels like they weren't quite linking up the way that they're known to, right? They're really reliant on passes and working together to get down the field, and just didn't feel like that was there this time around, both on offense and defense. And part of the reason it's not there on offense is you have to hand it to San Jose. The defense is good.
It is.
But you also have to say that, hey, part of the reason that we can't get out of our end is because we kind of just keep whacking it and hoping for the best.
You think more concise play with more direction, more plan behind the shot instead of a lot of hot Hail Mary, just get it out of this turf is the way they need to go?
Definitely. Definitely. They need to be thinking about how are we going to get it past them rather than how do we just get out of this moment.
Perfect. Well, I'm ready to see them do a little bit better. It's important to have that direction on those shots, and it feels like those bumps are not quite to each other even. No, beyond just getting it down there to a player, it feels like sometimes they're just trying to get it down there.
Exactly. That's exactly it, yeah. And it feels like there needs to be really a lot more of a plan, because right now it's just kind of banging it off the wall and stuff and hoping that no one's there to respond so that we can follow up. But fact of the matter is that's not going to work against a team as talented as San Jose.
Well, San Jose, excellent play. You are up by 2 points. Let's see if you can secure this last one and send yourselves on forward 3-0. Boise State, on the other hand, is... Ooh!
Boise State is in a scary spot as well.
A scary spot indeed. That is exactly where they're sitting. That was a quick one in the goal there and a quick demo. Valtech was looking to drive it home. They're playing back on their own turf here. Cosmo with a chip on over. Actually looking to secure it there after Valtech's pass, but it's a bit hot and the momentum is already back to that side. Ooh. Narrow to the goal there. It's Johnny. Drives it back away. Looking to set it up here for a teammate. It goes sideways, and man, that would have been an open spot for Valtech to be, but it's all right. They'll get another chance as Valtech tries to work it back over to the other side. Working the aerial, absolutely driving all the boost once he's empty. He's got to run out. Oh, but it's almost enough for It's Johnny to take it alone. Valtech back in the game. Falls back down, and it's a demo onto It's Johnny. Still down a player. They're able to keep it on the turf for the respawn. Instinct and Gil looking to dig it out of their own corners to send it back on the other side. With some help from Cosmo Buster, they're able to do it, but how long will it last? Toaster Dog, a nice little tap just preventing it from going in, and Valtech sending it away from the pass there. Gil looking to drive it back out. It's not going to be there, although two players very close together there. They're able to survive it. Keep it on that side for just a little bit before it goes flying back. Cosmo Buster sends it not to anyone, but Instinct and Gil are ready to take it. Oh, that was not quite the pass we were looking for. Instinct kind of deflected Gil's shot, but it's a follow-up, and Gil is able to make it off of Cosmo Buster's drop down. That's another point for Boise State, and the first one setting us to a 1-0, which was the comfortable position that SJSU held for most of last point.
A very needed lead for BSU as they kind of are beginning to feel the pressure, you can imagine, but hopefully that stone cold and communicative mentality that they have will end up pulling this around and take BSU even further in this series. But if San Jose walks away with this victory right now, I can't say that they didn't earn it either.
Definitely so. They've been pushing hard and doing well. A quick demo on the Instinct opens up the goal for Valtech and Toaster, but Gil fights back hard. Absolutely getting in the way, prevents them to get it anywhere, and Toaster Doggo has to fight for it back all the way to the corner for a decent reset. Valtech there to wedge it up further, but it doesn't get a lot of value, and Gil brings it to a nice halt. Valtech on the reset is able to carry it in, but there's not a lot of setup, so It's Johnny doesn't get any value either. Toaster Dog will prevent a full half change, but Instinct is already ready on that side. Sends it over, and it feels like a lot of defense and not a lot of offense.
A lot of midfield play right now, a lot of back and forth, both teams struggling to get control of one side of the field. San Jose is finally moving up, but quickly cleared away by BSU, but now they have to respond to Toaster Doggo, which is handled in a proper fashion. And Gil forces a 50 that should have allowed Instinct to push up, but just barely whiffed.
Deep into the goal, it's not quite there. Boise State looking for that second point, doesn't quite catch it.
Instinct with a good hit away to beat San Jose, and now he gets a great pass, but still not quite there. And at this point, BSU is starting to feel, exactly what I was about to say. BSU is starting to feel a little bit more in control of the pace of the game. They're able to get across the midfield line a little bit more and find more aggressive shots to take. And Cosmo finding a really great 50-50, just fighting back there. And even if that didn't go straight in, we had a Boise State member already up the field ready for wherever it hit else.
Definitely, and it wasn't just a shot out over there in the direction. It was a coordinated and coned shot to get right in. Made that goal, and like you're saying, they already had people on the backup ready if it went a little bit wide, but they take it, bringing them to 2-0. A quick demo.
Good block from Instinct. forces a 50-50. It's really good when you force a 50-50 like that and you barely lose it to a point where it's still predictable, like it's just rolling around behind you, because oftentimes that's where your teammate is hanging out to cover that kind of play from you. So losing 50-50s like that is not even necessarily the bad thing. It's even become somewhat of a strategy that is consistently used for kickoffs now, is to barely lose it behind you in a pitter-patter kind of way. Easy for your teammate to respond and maybe look for a cherry-pick pass all the way up the field to the third teammate.
Definitely so. An effective back pass, I mean, having it in the position, you know, when it's on your field, it's in your hands.
Definitely, and it's simultaneously used as a way to bait out a defender and force them into an awkward spot early on. And Instinct with another great pass over to Cosmo, who then looks for the pass back to Instinct, almost finding the back of the net again. And as the clock winds down, assuming the scoreline holds, BSU...
Ooh, I was going to say that might be a big assumption,
BSU
but
will walk away with 2-0 this time around, which is a very nice change of pace. If we consider, I think the first game, was it 1-3?
It was?
Yeah, so the first game 1-3, so it's a very similar goal differential in that one. It's basically the same thing, right?
It was, but negative, a complete flip. You know,
Yes.
it's within the range, within the bounds, but a total side swap. What do you think they made? Can you point to any really big changes? Or do you think they're just more comfortable in their chairs, maybe angle the keyboard a little bit, and really got down to it?
I think Instinct did a really good job that time of turning around kind of what happened last time, where it felt like a lot of, not his touches in particular, but a couple of his, and the team as a whole wasn't doing a good job of finding each other. I think I pointed out a couple times Instinct was doing a really good job of, when he got his clear, hitting it to Cosmo or Gil or whoever was available for him to try and get it down the field, making at least some effort to get it to another friendly defender so that we could make a play further down the field. And with our passing play and the offense that we already have, BSU was able to put things together as long as they were capable of getting out of their end.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, a really insightful read into what's going on. A nice little reset. Just in case you're joining us now, we are hopping straight into the next game. This is looking at 2 points against 1 point. SJU is up and on their match point for this best of 5, but Boise State's really turning it around and looking to move right in. Maybe set us to a tie. We're looking for a game 5, ideally. So we'd like to see Boise State pull this one out. We'd like to see Boise State pull the next 2, obviously, but it'll be a tight game for sure, especially considering that SJU's not just going to pass it to them after a good game. So a dense 50-50, keeping it on the middle, and a follow-up sends it over to San Jose's side before they chip it right back on over. And these chips are going to continue until we straddle down into a decent rotation.
Yeah, I definitely agree that this is going to be a really exciting game 4, because one of 2 different things is going to happen here. Either BSU wins and we go to a game 5, or SJSU wins and kind of does the exact same thing that we did to them last time and wins on a 3-1. Either way, a story to be made here.
Indeed.
For both BSU and SJSU. And so I'm really excited to see if the adjustments keep, if San Jose makes their own adjustments and are able to find the back of the net against this BSU defense despite the clears, or if something else is going to break somewhere along the way.
An up-close demo and a slow roll protect by Valtex keeps it in the corner, burning clock for a little while. It's finally dug on out, and SJSU is holding onto the ball, keeping it on the side they're comfortable with until Gil's able to fly it out, but it's a pass right down to the wrong player. Toaster Doggo with a beautiful follow-up, almost takes it straight into the goal from the halfway, but we see Boise State digging it on out. Valtech doing an excellent job of resisting that double commit. Gives it up and it ends up sending back over to Boise State's turf. Gil looking to pull it on out, hand it over to Instinct. Instinct doesn't get to keep it for very long before it's sent back to Gil via one of the San Jose players. Tries to keep it aerial, but it feels like the longer you hold on to a ball and are stagnant with it. Wow, Instinct, a great steal and follow-up. Gil was just the tee for that shot. Look at the air roll, holding it in place so Instinct come flying out and send it.
And Instinct could have shot that anywhere, and that's the beauty of passing plays when they're not cut down. Is he could have shot that to the left or the right side of the defender.
Oh, yeah.
Put it high or low, or even look for a dribble.
I mean, the defender was caught there playing middle post, looking to go for a backflip to either side, and had to respond instead of flying across and taking whatever was given. So I think Boise State was given the opportunity, and like you're saying, just executed on it excellently. So like to see some more of that.
Oh, so close to a really nice double tap off the ceiling, which you don't see too often. And I have special information from behind the scenes that Instinct in particular has been going for a lot of different ceiling plays lately in games. He likes to tap it up to himself off the ceiling, then make the kind of jump off the ceiling and read it off the backboard. And I think that just goes to show, and a great shot from Toaster Doggo and a pass from his teammate, but I think that just goes to show the kind of creative mentality that BSU has with their passing, because ultimately you have to get a little bit creative with how you find the back of the net.
You do, definitely. I mean, once you've hit all the basic, you know, quarter to center lineup and shoot it in, side to center lineup and shoot it in, you have to get creative in order to have that advantage. And I think Boise State's doing an excellent job with that. And I do, just for no gameplay reason, but just for the enjoyment of watching, love Instinct playing off the ceiling. I mean, that's one of the reasons I really got into Rocket League, was seeing excellent ceiling plays or crazy flip resets and all the trick shots. So we've seen a little bit of him showcase today, but that's not his win con exactly for tonight.
Already this midfield is becoming so prevalent from both BSU and SJSU this time around, because both teams have started to find their stride a little bit more. It kind of feels like the goal is decided a lot of the time by who wins at the midfield.
Oh, it is so close, and it's no. Oh, I was going to say, and it is good that the ball is absolutely crowded by Boise State, because one flying in would take it, but he sure does. It's Johnny with a nice tap, goes for it, and Gil tries to boost back in from underneath, but it's not there before Toaster Doggo comes flying in, setting us to a 1-2 on the 1-2, meaning if San Jose can just burn this last 2 minutes, then they take the game. If Boise State can find 2 more, and it's all right if one of those is a golden goal, then they move us to 50-50. It's intense here. Looking for match point and looking for the win.
Yeah, and I have to hand it to It's Johnny on that last goal scored. He went for the awkward bump in the air on Cosmo. And it was just crazy to see that kind of creativity that I just highlighted with BSU taken into context with SJSU as well. Both these teams boasting extremely talented players with extremely talented play styles.
A nice shot by It's Johnny and a follow-up on the ready, but Instinct doesn't just send it out, he carries it out. So it's back into the half.
Ooh, an unfortunate bump from Cosmo onto Gil slows down the momentum.
Definitely.
Wasting precious seconds for BSU that they need so badly in order to make this game go to a golden goal situation. No one there for the waterfall. Very close. Cosmo now putting pressure on, and I think definitely Cosmo's done a really good job of kind of holding the midfield line this game.
It's Johnny with some excellent dribbling, takes it back into the corner, but it doesn't stay there long. Boise State's able to wedge it on out, and it's up to Cosmo Buster and Gil to co-op it on out of there, but It's Johnny's turn comes last, tries to get it off. Instinct with a nice setup. Oh, a double commit actually sends it out of the hands of Gil, and we're only looking at 9 more seconds. Boise State has got to pull something out of the hat. They're looking for one last shot on goal, one last setup, and it makes it in. A huge near buzzer beater.
Look at Cosmo. Look at all this work he puts in on this play. He forces the defender to jump early, then makes Toaster Doggo dodge. It's Johnny is nowhere to be found. He doesn't even have to get the demo. His presence is enough to open up the net for 2 defenders.
Cosmo downright massive for that one. A nice little forced roll sends us to a golden goal final. Sudden death. How long will the overtime last? 5 seconds on the clock, and it's a good 50-50 right in the corner here. This is for the game or a chance to it. Boise State looking to protect themselves, goes heavy on the defense, and Cosmo Buster chips it out. They've got to be ready on the O to get out of here, though. Gil, a nice set. There's too many in his way. He just can't quite maneuver. He's got to get out of there. It's set up for Instinct. Toaster doesn't want it there. It's Johnny, accepts and sends it out. Toaster with a nice setup, but Valtech hasn't got the chance before all 3 defenders flip to the offense, comfortable in their stealing ball. Instinct not able to follow it all down, and 3 players are right there on the side. Gil with a good chip could have had a good setup, but it goes to Cosmo fighting against Toaster Doggo. It doesn't quite get them the profit they're looking for. Valtech has to fight against Instinct. Instinct loses again. But Gil's able to take the ball, set it to Instinct, almost drops it down into the goal, but someone's ready. Cosmo Buster gives it up to Valtech, and Valtech with a decent setup and shot. Oh, Johnny was just a bit too high. Absolutely colluded by Instinct. Toaster Doggo looking to flip back and prevent any more gain. Oh, Cosmo with another great setup, but Gil and Instinct were not quite there. Back on the field, though, Gil's nice to set it up. Instinct prevents it from hitting the half. Tries to send it over. Cosmo Buster throws a decent pass to the corner, but Toaster's the only one ready to accept it. Gil looking for a game-ending lineup here. People are not quite ready on their post. It's Johnny. Lets him get too close and steals it from him. Cosmo Buster had the chance for a shot on goal, but has to steal it out of the way of an San Jose player, and they are just fighting on this turf. It feels like it is so close sometimes. Cosmo doesn't quite have the plan to move it all the way, and Valtech gently protects it. Instinct again just trying to keep it on this side of the field. Gil sends it back to the center with a corner boost, but Valtech is following it all the way. Goes for a nice lineup, but again, there's just too many people in the way. They're a bit high, though. Ooh, that was close. 2 people didn't need to go for that, and it almost punished. It's Johnny, Valtech, and Toaster Dog running to their positions as Cosmo looks for a nice setup, but Toaster sends it. Instinct keeps it on that side, but it's Johnny Reeds. Starts walking it over, but Instinct's fighting him for it in that corner. Gil comes in to help. Cosmo Buster to finish him off. Makes it definite. It's going to be sent back to the orange side with Instincts digging out of the corner, but no! A shot on goal right from the side, and it's a beautiful save, but a gorgeous save is not quite enough. Coming up on 3 minutes, Toaster Doggo makes another shot towards the goal. Valtech looking to try one more time. Nice and slow out of the corner here. Hands it to Instinct, which plays to Gil. It's Johnny, wants to force that back just a little bit closer, but it's not going to be there. It goes wide. Not a lot of Boise State players ready to follow up, except Cosmo coming flying around the end. Gets a nice demo. Can they play off this fast enough? Ooh. Gil so close, just a bit high. The respawn comes in, and the fields are fair. Toaster Doggo with a nice stop ends up felling it over to the Boise State side, and it's Johnny. Tries for a setup, but Toaster Doggo cannot land it. Gil, Cosmo, and Instinct looking to dribble it on back. Instinct chips over Valtech. That's 1. Toaster Doggo replies 2, so they lose on 2, and a nice setup by Valtech. Almost makes it all the way in, and it's the 3rd. 3 passes, Valtech gets it in, and that's a game.
Just barely, not quite getting it out on Cosmo's end.
Oh.
Very good pass and a very good shot from SJSU, and a well-fought series to say the least. A really exciting series to watch regardless of whether or not we went to a Game 5. Very well earned from SJSU. Great job from both teams.
Yeah. No, I think you said it. Satisfying gameplay, an excellent run there. They all did their jobs well, and it came very close. Well, that is it for that Mountain West game, but we've got plenty prepared for you. We might take a little break just to let all that sink in before we pop up on this next one. We'll let you know who the university is when we get back, but that was San Jose State University taking the game 3-1, was it? Yeah, we didn't quite make it in that final 5th, but goodness, that was a long overtime. Basically counts as a 5th round. You guys enjoy, drink some water. We'll be back soon.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Boise State University Game Pants Esports Arena downtown. Come on, stop by. Say hello to our production. They're there. They're doing great. Operating all the cameras for you tonight. Operating the desk, letting you know what's happening on screen. It's me, Greg Old Soul Smith, and Joe Tacky right here. Here he is in the flesh. I'm not kidding. We're going to be playing against Wyoming. That's a fake screen. Don't look at that. We're going to be playing against Wyoming in Rocket League today for the Mountain West Championship title. This isn't the last one. The end goal is the championship title. But how are we looking so far?
I mean, we're looking pretty good. Even that fight with SJSU that we ended up not coming out on top of was a pretty close series. I mean, and SJSU is a pretty scary team, too. So losing to them is honestly not that bad.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that this late into the tournament as a whole, with playoffs coming up, every game is important. Even though we lost against SJSU and every game is important, though, it still isn't the end of the world. And that's the team we'd want to lose to, a very impressive roster with a very talented set of players.
Well, with a loss under our belt, we don't want to keep that moving. So hopefully we take this game and a week away, I don't know if you said it, but a week away from the big finals, from the end of it, from when we decide who the Mountain West Conference Championship of Rocket League is right now. So I'm looking to get into it. This is going to be Wyoming, and our players for today are looking to take it as well. We've got Instinct, we've got Gil, we've got Cosmo Buster, and they are doing fantastic today. There's their beautiful faces right now. Gil, Cosmo Buster, and Instinct, absolute professionals on the stage. These lineups are brought to you today by Count. Count's Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. Kyle, Gabriel, and Miles looking to absolutely run the desk tonight. They've been doing fantastic, too. We've seen a lot of great cooperation between the three of them, a lot of passes between the three of them, a lot of just owning the turf, and a lot of decent zone control. But that's not all it takes to win the game. We talked about Doc's keys earlier today. Love to see him one more time. Just a quick refresher. Here are the key words. Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League are to set the play style, understand them rotations, play to follow up, and have sweaty comms. Talking hot comms, nonstop. These are brought to you by Drop In Gaming, who is a premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming's got the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Go do it. I'm doing it right now. I got a great PFP. All right, we're going to be hopping right on into game. I'm really ready for this one. We saw two very different games. One that was very, very tight. Really enjoyed that. Went to basically a Game 5 considering how just crazy that overtime was. So here it is, playing against Adoring Pigeon, I'll Be Alright, and Ninja Brigador. On Boise State side, Cosmo Buster, Gill, and Instinct, our friends and family that we know, very familiar with from tonight. Cosmo with a nice setup. Typical gameplay so far, nothing crazy, but man, it feels kind of fast-paced. The spread is nice. Cosmo Buster, a nice little steal. Ninja Brigador is able to take it back like the ninja he is, but bumps right on out of the way when he sees Gil going for the shot, and that third post was just a bit shy. Gil taking the first point with not much off the clock.
Look at the placement on this shot from Gil. Not only is it a crazy angle, but top corner. How do you save that?
Oh, just
so
nasty,
hard
yeah.
to save that.
So that is an excellent shot. It looks like you'd have to dig it out and go for a setup to someone else, and I think Ninja Brigador was ready to block that. Instinct flip. Oh, goes for another one, but not quite there. Gil able to steal it out from two of them with a nice setup. Almost goes straight in, but Cosmo Buster was not quite there in time, and Adoring Pigeon's able to run it across the field. Tries to work it on over Instinct, but it's not going to be there. I'll Be Alright's able to work in the follow-up and keeps it. Gil with a nice hold is disrupted by Pigeon, so it goes sideways, and Instinct is there on the side to take it. Oh my goodness. Woo. Almost had some serious issues with the top rail there, but Gil with a beautiful follow-up sends it in before the defenders are on their spot. Let's see that again.
Boom. Yeah, a great passing play from BSU. Great pass from Instinct. Gil is already ready for the open net. Great awareness from Team BSU.
Cosmo Buster just barely takes the 50. Adoring Pigeon ready to defend against these players. Gets it over one, but Gil on the ready. Oh, gets demoed entirely with a beautiful last-second shot of his life onto the goal. There's a quick save, though, so it goes back into the side. Cosmo considering a lineup, but no one's really ready for it, so it goes to All Be Alright before Gil walks it right on back. Instinct and him co-op it all the way to the corner. Starting to walk it over, gives Cosmo a hot shot from the side. He's able to prevent it from getting too far, though, but it's not in a great position for scoring. Gil looking to put it in that spot, though. A nice setup for Instinct. Instinct rolls right over the top, and it goes into the hands of I'll Be Alright, who sends it to Gil. Gil trying to keep it on that side, wants a nice run it back in the second attempt, so he pops it over. It makes it past one, and Instinct's ready to go for it. Nice little double hit, but people have already gone to defense. Cosmo coming back in, prevents it from getting too far. Adoring Pigeon drives it into the corner for their own setup. It's not going to be there.
Lots of aggressiveness from Boise State. They definitely feel confident in their offense. Not a whole lot of direct midfield passing play going on yet, but definitely a lot of backboard play. Just feels like they've missed a couple of opportunities simply because the guy passing just had maybe a little bit too oomph behind his pass. And
definitely.
That's definitely not the end of the world. As long as you didn't get scored on for it, there'll be more opportunities that you can create, especially with Cosmo Buster on your team, finding just a slight chink in the armor after challenging the Adoring Pigeon's touch here.
Ooh.
Just pushing it through two different defenders there, barely off.
Yeah, and it's important to have those oomph passes considering how many steals we've seen. If the ball's not in your hands, on your hood, then it could be taken. Instinct walking it right over. I'll Be Alright takes it from him, but defense is strong. I'll Be Alright sets up, but it's a little deep. Ends up being a back pass for Adoring Pigeon. Instinct works it out from under him. Sends it close to the goal, but people are standing dense there, and it ends up chipping back to the blue side. Again, Gil's ready for it, though, and steals it. Nice little 3-tap out from Pigeon. I'll Be Alright's ready on the defense, though, but Cosmo Buster beats him to it. Ninja and Adoring not quite having the calm connection there. We're seeing some double commits here. Don't know what Wyoming has done, but they're kind of tripping over each other there on the defense. Starting to straighten it out. Pigeon doesn't go for it. Lets I'll Be Alright take it, but was not quite there, ready to follow up for Cosmo. I don't know what happened, but we did not see very many double commits at all until right now.
More than a secure lead already for BSU. 4-0 up. Definitely not a whole lot to worry about for them in this game as long as they keep their defense up.
Definitely so. Boise State's looking to ride it right on out. Cosmo looks for an early pass or at least a nice setup for a comfortable position on this ball. Cosmo keeping it high. Gil keeping it low, almost makes it in, but it hits that last rail. That last rail has not been Boise State's friends, but they don't need it. Cosmo chipping it back on over, and it just keeps just swiping right in front of the goal. Just right across the thirds. Instinct trying to get it out of there, ends up just lining it right up for Cosmo. Cosmo gets a hat trick right into the top left.
Definitely a good play from Cosmo there. 3 goals to his name in this game. Very impressive. Good pass from Instinct coming all the way off the wall to make it happen. And I just feel like there's not a whole lot to say with this game in particular. It just feels like Boise State is basically outclassing this Wyoming team. I mean, so many things are being let by for BSU. Stuff like this, consistent passing over and over again. And it's not even the same issue that Hawaii had where they just weren't in the way. It was more so that they just aren't even hitting the ball there because, like, Ninja's in the way. He just didn't pop up, didn't go for the ball a little bit too late.
Yeah, the presence is there, but not quite the pressure.
That's exactly the phrase, yeah. That's right on. Oh, that might be open. Ooh. Adoring Pigeon gets
Looking
one
for a
last
close one.
effort.
Instinct still wants it.
I think BSU in general still wants it. All of them getting involved.
Ooh, it's so close.
It's in, bar down for Cosmo Buster.
Excellently done. A nice little buzzer beater there. A whole team effort. I can hardly give it to Cosmo considering how many times it was tapped in midair before falling in. Either way, Boise State takes that first point. Look at this championship series. Mountain West. That's it. That's the card they're fighting for.
The winner gets a real-life Jaeger from Rocket League.
I might have to start playing.
No, we should both get involved.
Well, that's point 1. I think we'd make an excellent team, considering the points that we all know.
Yeah.
Well, we're professionals.
We're basically experts. But to say the least, BSU definitely went into it with a game plan and executed on that game plan near perfection. They didn't have a lot of things necessarily in their way, but that being said, it's not a gap that I've seen a team not pull out of yet.
Yes.
Specifically for Wyoming.
Yes.
But it feels like a pretty deep gap.
It
Most
definitely
teams
is.
would not be able to pull out of that kind of a bad situation.
No, they're in a hole to dig out of, to be sure, but they put up a solid effort to prevent this from happening. It didn't quite make it, but they are doing well. And I appreciate the perseverance of all the Rocket League teams I've basically ever seen to keep fighting in the face of a bad point, not letting that momentum take too much of a hold. Ooh, Cosmo Buster looking for a nice run it back. Hits on that top rail, but Instinct has his back and really pushes it in.
Yeah, already all 3 of the members getting involved. Gil passes and Cosmo hits off of his pass to make it an easy pass for Instinct to find the back of the net.
Yeah, positioning is not all defensive or reactive to get ready to run to your own goal. Gil had the nice setup for Cosmo. Cosmo took it close but didn't take it in. And then Instinct finishes it off. And already we could see from Gil's perspective that he was ready to follow up if Instinct didn't make it.
Instinct going for the doubler, finds it. No one there to challenge. And again, he's there. He's 50% of the way saving that ball. He just doesn't quite read it. Ninja Brigador outplayed again. Not expecting Instinct to go for that, but how many goals need scored on you before you're ready for Instinct to go for that kind of thing?
Oh my gosh, absolutely crazy. That's Instinct making a goal every 14 seconds. I'll be all right, doesn't want to keep seeing it happen, but Instinct does. Goes in for another one, walking it right on in, but the defense is not quite there. A hat trick.
In the first 38 seconds of this game, a hat trick from Instinct already, and man, Wyoming, they need a new game plan.
Oh my gosh. They might request a sub. I think that's their game plan. Get Instinct out of there. He's unreal. 3 shots on goal and 3 goals.
A missed kickoff right off the bat. Ball handed to Instinct and Gil, who have all the freedom in the world to do with it. No one challenging.
Oh, they sure do.
Look how far Instinct has gotten with not a single orange defender on his challenge.
A well-placed Gil could have taken that all the way home, but it's not quite there. Instinct wants another one. I'll be right has learned his lesson and sends it out. Cosmo Buster wants to see it. Wants to see it again. Gets it close. There's no one on the follow-up. It could have been there, but Gil, wasting time. Lets Cosmo Buster wrap back around and send it into the top corner.
Yeah, another fantastically placed shot from Cosmo, just not quite in the way fast enough. But I'll be all right.
Excellent. Bump to disrupt. Cosmo Buster with a beautiful sail right towards the goal, looking to follow it up and get it in, but it's a little too far for him. He finds it anyways with a slow roll sideways through, and Cosmo Buster, he said it's my turn for a hat trick now. That's his 2. You think he can make another 14-second goal and send us in?
I definitely think he could. If Instinct can, then Cosmo sure can. Not a whole lot standing in their way as of right now. And Wyoming, this is your last free life.
It is.
Something has to change. You have 5 goals scored on you in the first minute and a half of this game. I mean, at this rate, you could be looking at a 12-0 loss. Yeah,
saying that your last free life is a good way to count backwards. I mean, match point is intense, and it's so intense that you can't make any mistakes. So this is your last playground to figure things out, to really hammer it down before there are no mistakes to be made. So they've got to get it together here. And we are already approaching the point spread we were looking at on the first game.
Was it 7-0 or 6-0? I think it was 7-0. But even if it was 6-0, if you look at these 2 games on a sheet right now, you've got an 11 to 12-0 deficit.
Yes.
For Wyoming. That's a pretty big deal.
My problem is the direction it's going. I mean, if we look at the timer here, whether last game was 6 or 7, Boise State definitely didn't have their first 5 in the first half.
Oh, definitely not. Let alone the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, and almost another one for Gill, almost finding his first for the night. Well, not for the night, for this particular series.
For this round. Yeah, hat tricks for everybody here.
Good pop-up from Instinct. Looks like he's going for the 4th. Oh, Gill almost finds it too.
Gill wanted a taste of it. It's not going to be there
for it. Not punished at all.
Wyoming just cannot get the sight control.
Cosmo can look for, not quite able to get a good touch. Almost was able to find his hat trick for the game.
Ooh. The ball finally feels that blue turf before it's quickly sent right on over to Gill, looking to drive it into the goal, but Wyoming doesn't want to see it happen. They pull it out, and the game is finally a little bit more fair, a little bit more.
Instinct will look for his play now. He doesn't think he has enough to share with the class yet.
Ninja Brigador looking to back up, but oh my goodness.
And their first goal of the night.
That was just a little too loose on the defense. I feel they were really hoping Cosmo would take that. They were not facing the right direction to deal with that threat.
See that, yeah. The first goal of the night and holding Boise State at 5-0 after they scored their first 5 basically in the first 2 minutes. You know, they have figured out their defense a little bit more and scoring 2 now for Wyoming. How much of this do you think is BSU getting a little lackadaisical, or how much of this is a change in pace from Wyoming, you think?
I think that you couldn't really call Boise State being lackadaisical. I think the issue is they're too focused on offense because they know that they've been driving the offense home. They're not getting lazy, they're getting excited. And because of that, their defense is getting sloppy. I mean, their offense is still on point and in power, but when they give a bad hold, instead of being able to wrestle it back, it goes too far. I think they need to make sure that it's important to have a good offense, but without a good defense, you just end up with a high score loss.
That could be very well true, but Boise State certainly has reset their defense now and is keep making it even harder for them to find the back of the net, not allowing them to have any sense of comeback. They only have to hold them for 1 minute with a 3-0 lead. And all these demos, so many demos right now. Passive Instinct from Cosmo does not connect, but they're still looking for those crazy passing plays. And, you know, why not shoot for Instinct's second hat trick as long as we're going to keep passing to him?
Instinct heard you loud and clear, giving the ball to no one. Finally runs out of boost, and Wyoming takes it. Cosmo Buster playing nice and slow in front of the goal, hoping to have someone lined up for it. Adoran Pigeon chips it over, but Cosmo's ready for it. Solomon alone on that side is able to just burn the clock. Wow, a slow roll right in from All Be All Right. Just a last-second goal, and again, there's nobody there. They're just hoping Cosmo Buster can bring it back in, and that's it. And you cannot just have that last man be your one defense. Last 5 seconds now. Still going to be Boise State taking it home, but Wyoming has put up a good push.
Yeah, and maybe that's the push they need to really turn things around for Game 3, but if it's not the push they need, well, then this series is over.
It definitely is. It's definitely close.
They are completely out of time now. That change, whatever happened in the last 2.5 minutes, I want to say, of that series, that needs to stay put.
Yep.
Because otherwise, they are done. They got to go home. And I definitely don't think it's out of their wheelhouse, especially after what they showed us in the last half of that game. But they got to stick to it now. They have no more lives to give.
But just speaking in terms of momentum, we saw a 5-3 on that one, right?
Yes.
Which means Boise State got their first 5 goals. Then Wyoming did something right. They switched to the the Wii Pro controller, and they got their 3 goals all in a row without giving one to Boise State. Side control was a lot better. They were able to duke past Cosmo once or twice and make some goals. And now they're looking at a just feeling like a 3-0 move into this next one.
Definitely could be the case. It's definitely the way their momentum is swinging them, and maybe, that Guitar Hero controller is all they need to bridge the gap.
Sometimes just breaking out the Wii Fit board and being one with the car
is all you'll need.
It's all it takes.
Instinct deciding it's time for a change of pace for him, too, though. He chooses to play with the Aftershock, the rocket car, with a chef's hat on, a pink one.
Very
Look
nice.
At that beautiful car.
All style. Instinct believes that hats are for hat trickers. Switching to the French chef hat.
Believes that the best players show it in their style.
Definitely. Adoring Pigeon. And I'll be all right looking to work the defense. Instinct with a nice setup for Gil, but he can't take it with the Adoring Pigeon right there. I'll be right. He's got to backtrack just a little bit, try to prevent this goal, but it's not going to happen. Gil, oh, so close. Instinct says one more try. Let's give it another try. Gil with another shot in, not quite there. I'll be all right, and the rightmost post there to back it up. Cosmo Buster watching the setup, ready to follow up if Instinct can't make it, and he doesn't, so he's on the defense. Cosmo on the defense is something we've seen a whole lot of. He sends it up, goes for the wraparound. Gil and Instinct looking to line up, get ready. It's a nice pass to Instinct, who sets it up for a player. An extra tap or two. A beautiful area for Gil, and Gil moves in on it, bringing us to 1-0. Man, it felt like Wyoming had a point, though. Their ball control was a lot better in this round so far.
Definitely have to agree. A lot closer start for Wyoming, but BSU is still finding the back of the net in a proper BSU fashion with the 1-2 passing play. I mean, it's what they know best. It's their bread and butter at this point.
Sure is.
Their hallmark. Definitely a close one from Cosmo there, but followed up well by Gil. Just no response off of the hit from the sidebar. Just leaves it open for Gil to do basically whatever he wants in this play.
Oh, yeah, Gil playing.
Kind of shoved back by Cosmo, but also just not in the way for Cosmo's touch to begin with.
Close and personal there with the goal. Adoring Pigeon wants one, but Gil wants it more. He walks on over an Instinct with a nice tap, sends it to the corner. Gil's on setup duty. Cosmo Buster gives it to Instinct. Instinct drops it right in, stealing the hat trick from Gil.
Gil barely hits that Cosmo with a 90-degree pass.
Oh my goodness.
Bangs it into the back of the net. An absolute clanger of a shot.
They're unreal. I thought it was going to go all the way through into the crowd. They just sailed that back in net.
Punch a hole into the back of the net.
I'll be all right with a good attempt, but it goes a little bit narrow. Any wider would have went right past Cosmos, so they are pretty close considering there was not a lot of defensive follow-up on that. Adoring Pigeon gets absolutely tripped by Instinct. I'll be all right wants to keep it on that turf, but Cosmo and Gil take it to the other side. Ninja is no match, and Adoring Pigeon is trying to hold mid-goal, and it's not a position. Cosmo swings it right on in.
Gil barely robbing himself of his hat trick.
Oh,
just barely not finding that top corner. Luckily, Cosmo's here to say, don't worry, I'll get it for you.
I'll get it. I'll pick that one up. Share the load. Cosmo Buster taking another goal.
a fake kickoff, an interesting change in strategy from BSU. Maybe they're feeling a little bit more. They have a lot more faith in their defense this time around, so they're willing to take that kind of risk.
Well, Wyoming, if this is your chance, you've got to make the same 5-3 turnaround you did last time, only a point better in your direction to even come 50-50 for it. But Gil doesn't want to see it.
And there's
taking
his
the first hat trick for the match.
I think it's his first hat trick for tonight in general.
It is.
A good read off of Ninja. I feel like Ninja is the guy that I see back a lot that is just barely not. He's so close to making these $1 million plays, but he's not quite there yet. Oh, Instinct with the whiff, open net. Yeah, ooh, no saving that. Instinct barely not getting any car on the ball here.
Oh, a rough whiff, and I'll be all right just sees his opportunity and runs right in. And that's all about good positioning, being ready for the worst to happen.
Followed immediately by Instinct saying, all right, hold on, I'll make up for it.
Turns his monitor back on and goes crazy.
He quit messing around, dude. He whipped out his DDR pad to play on. And now we are looking at Instinct, who is one off of his own hat trick.
Indeed. Cosmo has not seen a hat trick tonight.
No, he has not.
He got close, though. He got 2 last time. Oh.
Oh, what?
Oh, my goodness. Instinct doesn't even care.
World?
So smooth. What? I was not ready for him to walk it over any of those 3 players, much less all 3 right in a row. Look at this.
He gets his hat trick by systematically faking all 3 of them out with a full
unreal
boost.
He's crazy.
He's definitely making him feel bad for scoring that one off of his whiff. Oh, and almost another one right there, but Cosmo's able to respond. And now we're at a Brazil point. What a great goal to put you on Brazil point for and have your hat trick for the game be off of one of the dirtiest fakes I've seen in a long time.
That was ridiculous. He took all of them.
Instinct finds another one. He's at 4 goals in just this game. I have to ask, is the Aftershock the superpower here?
I think he just had to, like, he wasn't doing super well earlier because he wasn't ready for the hitbox just wasn't quite there.
It's the same hitbox.
Yeah, no, it is.
The Aftershock and the Octane have the same hitbox.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a little pixel difference.
No, it's the exact same, which is wild.
I'll be all right clamoring over that goal, trying to keep it out of there. Doesn't want to see it go double digits. Wants some extra security goals for Wyoming. They've got to fight so hard because the turf has just been right on top of them. Or the ball has been right on top of their turf. Cosmo takes another one. It is just shot on goal after shot on goal. There's so much follow-up here, and it's such an aggressive rotation from Boise State.
Cosmo's now one off of his own hat trick. Hopefully we get to see him get a little bit of love by the end of this series as well.
I hope so. He just needs one more.
Plenty of time. But yeah, at this point, I don't really have a lot more to talk about for Wyoming. What more else is there to say? In terms of seriousness on improving from this game, they really have to pick up their defense because BSU is allowed to make mistake after mistake and commit 3 players at a time to low percentage plays and still make something out of it because Wyoming just doesn't punish things the way they should.
We need to see Wyoming get an ace. Just demo all 3 players at once and walk it on in.
Oh, like a Valorant ace.
A team kill.
Yeah. That would be fun to see for sure. Oh, Instinct bombed. Gil goes for it.
We had 2 beautiful shots on goal right off the 50-50 here in the beginning, but they were just a little bit wide. I think Wyoming's aim is just not quite there. Ninja looking to set it up. It is a good setup. Oh, again, just a little bit wide. There was a little bit of a bump and a little bit of defensive pressure. Last 5 seconds here. Balancing on the chef's hat.
Oh, and the
sails
goes
right in for the double digits.
There's too many accolades to his name. I think that might be his 5th.
I think that was number 5. Yes.
One more and he got double hat trick and has scored 3 hat tricks in these games.
Can he do it in 3 seconds plus airtime?
I'm kind of hoping Cosmo gets his still, honestly.
Oh, there it is. Oh, they're both fighting to keep
And
it alive,
it's
but it's too
down.
wide.
Good games all around.
GG's for everybody, and there it is. Boise State University takes home 2 out of the 3 games tonight. An excellent play on to Hawaii and Wyoming. Well, it was fun to see. They did great.
Definitely fun to see.
Yeah.
A little bit of a clown fiesta right at the end, but well fought by BSU. I'm sure that Wyoming did the best they could. But
Definitely.
They definitely have to go back to the drawing board on the game plan for this kind of series.
Definitely, yeah. What do you think they were missing out on? Is it just putting in the hours and being able to cooperate, have those kind of, plays set up ahead of time so it's easier to announce what's going on?
I think they were just outpaced from a skill perspective, but I think from a game plan perspective, I feel like their defense needs a lot of work, especially because it just felt like there were a lot of instances where they were very nearly there, but they were just kind of watching it go over them. And I feel like part of that was because they weren't expecting to have to play against players of the caliber of BSU.
That's
a lot
fair.
of it was like, clearly he's waiting there because he thinks that Instinct's not going to hit it. And we all know that Instinct's going to hit it because Instinct is cracked just as well as Cosmo and Gil are.
Yes.
But if you're not used to playing with people who are capable of hitting those shots, even in ranked, if you run into someone who's able to hit shots that you've never seen someone hit before, you're not going to expect it immediately, right?
No. Yeah.
So it's a competition thing.
We talked about that earlier. Watching the space is so much more important when your space changes and when more avenues become viable and when more trick shots are available. There's so much more that you have to be watching, so many more angles you have to be wary of, and so many more odd rebounds you have to be ready to follow up on.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I'm going to segue into taking my first stab in the dark at player of the game. It's got to be Instinct for me. I know he went absolutely insane on that last map. We saw him pull some tricky stunts earlier on. Do you have anything else to put in for the play of the game?
Instinct is a pretty easy one. He shows up almost every day that he's out here. If I had to guess anyone else, I'd have to say Gil. No shade at all to my boy Cosmo at all, but Gil, his consistency for me is how he's involved in almost every single scoring opportunity for them in some way, shape, or form. And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if either of us are wrong. Cosmo had that one play against SJSU that forced them to go into the overtime that they ultimately ended up losing. But being there and being in the way is such a heads-up play. Cosmo had some really amazing demos, and honestly, no matter who gets it, it's an absolute win. So.
No, I feel like Cosmo had a lot of the background and did a good job. Oh, who's going to be? It's Gil, which we do see. Yep.
Yeah, I think Gil is well deserving of it. While he might not be the one that pops up as scored on every single goal, he definitely is involved in almost all of them. I think Gil has one of the best passing talents that I've seen in a while. I don't understand how he's gotten so good at these really pinpoint perfect passes, giving it to his teammates in a way that they have just enough run up while also putting it in a position that's hard for the defenders to get in the middle of. It's just incredible to watch.
Well, Gil, you are the ICCU Player of the Game. The Player of the Game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Gil's the Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game. Wow. As we prepare to close it out and wrap it up, any, big stamps on the package you want to put here? Any final words?
Win or loss, you can take something from it always.
Definitely, yep. We talked a lot about today about a lot of things. Zone control, good rotations, being ready to demo in and out of the goal. We talked about all our favorite keys to the game, yours, mine, and Doc's. So that brings us right back on down to the last 5 big Best 5 plays of the game presented to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With over 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. You guys have a fantastic night. Drink your water. Enjoy some more Rocket League, and we'll see you guys next week. Close one. Instinct still wants it.
I think BSU in general still wants it. All of them getting involved.
Ooh, it's so close.
It's in, bar down for Cosmo Buster.
Excellently done. A nice little buzzer beater there. A whole team effort. I can hardly give it to Cosmo considering how many times it was tapped in midair. I'll be all right. Doesn't want to keep seeing it happen, but Instinct does. Goes in for another one. Walking it right on in, but the defense is not quite there. A hat trick.
in the first 38 seconds of this game, a hat trick from Instinct already, and man, Wyoming, they need a new game plan.
Oh my gosh. Steel Ninja Brigador is able to take it back like the ninja he is, but bumps right on out of the way when he says Gil going for the shot, and that third post was just a bit shy. Gil taking the first point with not much off the clock.
Look at the placement on this shot from Gil. Not only is it a crazy angle, but top corner. How do you save that?
Oh, just now. Oh.
Oh, what?
Oh my goodness, Instinct doesn't even care. So smooth. What? I was not ready for him to walk it over any of those three players, much less all three right in a row. Look at this.
He gets his hat trick by systematically faking all three of them out with a full
He's unreal.
Definitely a close one from Cosmo there, but followed up well by Gil. Just no response off of the hit from the sidebar. Just leaves it open for Gil to do basically whatever he wants in this play.
Oh yeah, Gil playing.
Kind of shoved back by Cosmo, but also just not in the way for Cosmo's touch.